Well, everybody. What about now? We on now?
Are we on?
Just give me the shit. We're professionals. All right, there we go.
There you go.
We got it. Welcome, everyone, one and all, to the Count Jackula stream, the only stream which has the balls to ask, should chainsaw abortions be subsidized by the government?
You know, that's a really important question. Really, the question is, do we want taxpayers' money to go to subsidizing the chainsaw industry instead of subsidizing the flamethrower industry? Because I'm always a fan of flamethrower abortions. They go in there, they sterilize, they cauterize the wounds, so it's a very safe procedure.
Well, see, I gotta stop you right there because you were using the incorrect term.
Oh.
We do not like to say flamethrower so much. It's blowtorch.
My apologies. That is, I was born in another country, even though I'm a U.S. citizen, so I'm uncertain about certain terms.
Oh, so you're from Canada?
No, East St. Louis, you know.
Oh, right. Well, I'm Count Jackula. This is, over here in the corner is my co-host Horror Guru, and our guest today is Skitch, who some of you may know from channel Awesome. He does a lot of the music. If someone did a what are they called? They're not covers, but they're sound-alikes
Yes.
of popular tunes. This is the man that probably did them.
It's an easy way to hide legally behind things because you know, copyright laws kind of suck sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, controversy.
Controversy, man.
Yeah.
Controversy.
That's what this stream's all about. Controversy,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
I am drinking Angry Orchards. I believe you are as well.
I am.
I'm going to use the video where I got this thing. It has not gone up yet because I haven't finished editing it, but we're going to use it. Look at that. Zombie bottle opener. Yeah, pretty good. And if I need to make sure I don't spill it, I have a zombie finger that goes right in there. It freaks the countess out, actually. Hey, babe.
It's gross.
Yeah. But I think it's great.
Thank you to everyone in the chat wishing me a happy birthday. You're all awesome.
And happy birthday, man. Like, how old are you at this point?
I will be 28.
28.
A good age.
That was a good age, yeah.
Yeah. How old are you?
32.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
41. So, yeah. All right. The comments about how I don't look 41 may come in at any moment.
Just let it feed into the chat.
Now let that soak in. You know, it provides me with the Dorian Gray like fucking youthfulness. So we're going to how we're going to do this is going to be definitely largely question and answer. We're going to bullshit. So just start bringing those questions in. Horror Guru will read them. He will keep us from getting a little too far off track, and there will be a lot of bullshitting, and that's the way this is going to go. It is obviously March 12th of 2016. And
They actually
it's always pretty good.
They had the St. Patrick's Day parade downtown, even though it's not St. Patrick's Day.
I was about to say, like, I didn't think it was quite yet.
No, it's not. But it's a weekend, so why not just close down Mission Street and just have a parade on Mission Street on a weekend? It's a great idea.
Yeah. St. Patrick's Day is one of those ones like fucking Easter where I'm like, when is it? I don't know. You know, if Jesus comes down off the cross and sees his shadow, there's like 6 more weeks of Satanism or something. I don't even.
And Jesus bled green blood, and then St. Patrick's Day was established.
All right, the first question we got coming in comes from Nicholas Kurtz, who starts off by saying that Jack looks like he's 32.
Cool.
So there you go, Jack.
I no longer look like I'm in my 20s.
There you
so,
go.
Yeah, there you go.
A little older.
Oh, stop whining.
I gotta be pretty, man. What you talking about?
No, you don't. You got to man up and accept it that you're the grizzled old man.
Be more
All righty then. Nicholas Kurtz. Question for both of you and Jack. If you two made a movie, how fucked up would it be? I think it's safe to say it'd be pretty fucked up.
Yeah. It would either be, we would either go like super beautiful and artful, or we would just go complete trauma, completely screwed up.
Or both.
Or both. Yeah, both if we could do it. Yeah, a lot of short film ideas that we haven't really been able to figure out how to do because we're busy. Because it turns out making shit takes up a lot of time.
See, you just saying that makes me think of like doing like Dario Argento's "Beware Children at Play."
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
The combination of
That'd be
Dario Argento's
awesome.
cinematography and a kid's head being blown up by a shotgun in close point blank range.
Yeah. Although I gotta say, very sad. The Argento is not translating well to digital cameras.
No.
Yeah, it's really too bad. He hasn't quite figured that out yet.
He is not, but his movies are translating very well to Blu-ray. There's some fucking
Oh
beautiful
yeah, those
transfers
old
out
ones,
there.
oh man, that new Blu-ray Suspiria looks so good.
Well, it does help that they've gotten some decent tech for doing analog to Blu-ray transfers and stuff like that. They've got recaptions and stuff like that have been really good.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
Yeah, they started doing like all those 4K transfers, and they just look even on the regular Blu-rays. They look amazing. And now they're putting out the 4K discs, and I'm like, But yeah, that's probably flying a little too close to the sun for me. I don't know if my equipment could even handle fucking editing 4K.
Jeez, yeah.
You know,
Not to mention storing the 4K footage.
I know. Like, how big must those files be? That's got to be like that. Each frame has got to be like 100, like 58 to 100 megs.
Well, it really depends on what format you're shooting, and basically just take any file size for a single frame of 1080p, quadruple it, and then you basically got what a 4K frame is going to be.
There you go.
That's the ratio.
So yeah, that'd be about 10 meg. Jesus Christ.
Right.
This file's
So like
huge.
a 50 megabit per second video in 1080p would basically translate to a 200 megabit per second 4K video stream to maintain the same quality across all pixels. So.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. I would love to be able to shoot in 4K, edit in 4K, but like for YouTube videos, it's not really that's way overkill. Although
1080 is about as high as you really need to go.
Yeah.
Like 720 you can get away with too.
Yeah.
So it's
I think if we did a short film, we'd definitely shoot in 4K though.
well, yeah. If we're actually making a movie, like it makes sense.
And there's also
Anyway, next question comes from Miscellaneous Soup. If you could create a movie about any classic Universal monster, what would you choose?
Oh, easy. Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, that's a good choice. That's a really good
Yeah,
choice.
I'd set it mainly underwater, actually.
is it just because of the underwater that makes it kind of fascinating, or is there some other things about how it was not really told well by Universal?
Well,
or...
I like how it was. Well, it's the one that has yet to actually have a modern update.
Sure, that's
it's
true.
never had a modern update like ever. And so that to me is fertile ground. But of
There
course,
was gonna be one made in the 80s by John Landis that sounded amazing, but it never happened.
yeah, I really wanted, like, because there are several things I want to have on screen. One of them is fish women. You know, so I would want to actually do like, I think my remake of like Creature from the Black Lagoon would probably technically be a remake of Humanoids from the Deep.
You could probably
know?
get away with that remake easier too.
Yeah, we could.
Be
Could
easier
get
to
away
license.
a lot easier with that. For those of you who don't know, Humanoids from the Deep is, we've mentioned it several times, it is basically fishmen come to a shore town and rape everybody. It's a good
Sounds
movie.
like a story Count Jackula would love.
Yes.
A tale as old as time.
It's a love story of fish and people who aren't in love with them.
Yeah. Well, I was really hoping that's what they would do with that Piranha 3 Double D, would be like fish women. But like, as soon as it was like, oh, it's in a water park, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's like just completely.
You know, I would have settled not even for just straight up like sexy fish women. If it was just those monstrous piranhas walking on land with tits.
Yes. Yes.
You're going with a stupid
Absolutely.
You're going with a stupid enough concept. Might as well just go like, we are taking this shit seriously at all times X.
Exactly. Just go full bore.
Full bore.
Well, that guy wanted to go full bore with it because it was like, all right, piranhas in a water park.
Right.
Got it. Let's do this. And he met with like suit resistance. He had a scene where a guy was going to be running around with a giant piranha like attached to his dick like a lamprey.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let him do it.
Why not? You're not even gonna see the dick.
Well, it was weird because like Piranha 3D has a famous dick scene. It's amazing.
Yeah, it has this really awesome castration scene, which is one of the best sequences in the movie.
Yeah, it's what puts that movie on the map, as well as the like 5-minute underwater lesbian ballet sequence.
That scene is beautiful, and it is a work of art, and I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah. And of course, you got to remember the whole movie's in 3D, so you're watching everything in 3D in that theater, and it's one of the few of those 3D movies where the 3D actually did enhance the experience.
Most definitely.
You know, I think probably the other one would be like the first 10 minutes of My Bloody Valentine 3D.
Oh God, that opening sequence is amazing. That movie kind of has problems towards the end, but that's still a fun, pretty fun movie.
Yeah. For those who don't know, My Bloody Valentine 3D starts out with a topless woman running away from the miner. And then it pulls back. She's completely naked. And that's it. Full frontal. That's also in 3D.
That's fantastic.
Well, she's also running at the camera,
Yes.
naked, with her tits like center frame popping out at you, which was an amazing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the rest of the movie kind of doesn't live up to that opening.
No, it's got its moments, but not so much. All right, Nicholas Kurtz comes in with another question. How did you and Jack meet? Well, here's the thing. We've answered that in a previous stream, but to give a short version, we met on the Channel Awesome forums.
Yep. It turned out we lived like less than an hour away from each other. So.
Pretty much. All right, Nicholas Kurtz comes in with another question. Would the title of this stream be called The Birthday Guru Bash?
Oh man, it should be.
All right.
It should be. I think you just titled it.
All right. The Birthday Guru Bash. That's a bit of
one.
a mouthful for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, let's see what we got with the next question. The Awesome Man 13. Okay, this question better live up to that name.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
you're full of shit. Awesome.
You're on
Man.
the fucking hook, man.
Hey, Jack and Guru, have you ever been disturbed by a documentary on real serial killers like Dahmer, Bundy, or Son of Sam? Yeah, like I've watched a lot of those documentaries, and they're kind of creepy and disturbing just inherently because you know that these people existed and did real things. And sometimes they can get under your skin, but I've never been like, I can't sleep at night after watching one.
Yeah, I would agree. The ones that really disturb me are the documentaries on the legal system.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You know,
those get you.
Where they have fucked up bad, and you're just like, oh god, this is like that one, Making a Murderer.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, because you're like, even if the guy did it, the entire legal proceeding was fucked.
Pretty much. All right, Otterpaw Studios. What's a horror movie you guys think could use a remake?
Use one? Oh man, there are actually a bunch. Fuck. Well, one that they're doing right now is Rabid. I think that one could stand to be remade.
Oh, I'm totally down to see a remake of Rabid. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, like if they tried to remake like Videodrome or
I wouldn't bother.
Would not be down. For it.
Videodrome is way too tied with the era it was in that you would have to change way too much in order to remake
Yeah,
it.
I wouldn't even accept a remake of Shivers, but a remake of Rabid, I'm actually up for. It's being done by the Soska sisters, I believe. So
I'm sure there's some others that I would say if I was better braining right now, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah, we'll probably in the middle of another question we'll be like, oh, you know what else could be remade?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All right, Rocked Reviews and Matthew Iannone have a double question here.
Hey guys.
Question 1 from Luke, which is Rocked Reviews. For those of you who don't know, check him out. He's on YouTube. Same with Matt Iannone, the Sports Reel. Check it out. It's awesome. The first part of their question is, why isn't the horror guru wearing a birthday hat? And the second part is, or a birthday suit.
The closest thing we have is a Burger King.
Well, if the audience...
Wait.
All right. The audience has spoken.
Something's happening.
Give the people what they want.
Ooh, this is great. Oh, there we go.
Oh, man.
It's festival time.
Here we go. You guys asked for it. We got the birthday hat. I am not fucking doing the birthday suit. You can kiss my ass.
Also,
Well, I think that's the idea, man. If you're in the birthday suit, they could kiss your ass.
And this is fucking with the lighting so hard right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that threw the white balance way off.
Oh man. Alrighty then. Let's see. What's the next question we got? Miscellaneous Soup comes in with another question. Have you seen the trailer for Lonely Island's new film, Popstar, Never Ending, Never Stop, Never Stopping? It's rated R for graphics, language, nudity, sexual content, and drugs. You might like it. I have not seen the trailer, but I like Lonely Island, so I'll probably see it.
Yeah, this is the first I've heard of it, so no, but interested. Like if they're gonna do like those Saturday Night Live movies again, Lonely Island is a good place to start.
yeah, and it doesn't sound like it's like a direct translation of some shtick from SNL into a movie.
Yeah,
It seems to be more of a movie based on something they would come up with as a group. And if it does that and it kind of follows what you heard from their albums in terms of the type of humor they use, then it should at least be funny, hopefully.
Yeah, like I think that the last great of Saturday Night Live movie probably really was Wayne's World.
Oh, jeez.
Even though Night at the Roxbury had its moments overall.
Right. But
Does Austin Powers count?
no,
I know Austin Powers doesn't count.
it's not
Okay.
based on anything.
Unless
All right.
Austin Powers started on Saturday Night Live.
I can't remember. I don't think it did.
I don't.
I'm looking at something for a really terrible movie that's coming out.
All right, the cartoon physicist naughty list. What did I miss? Well, not much.
Not much.
No.
Just stick around.
You'll find out when the stream actually is finished recording it on YouTube.
All right, Nicholas Kurtz. I love you guys so much, and I really hope to see you both in the future. Keep up the amazing work, and hello, special guest that I don't know. Not a question, but we will tell you who the special guest
You don't know
is.
me yet, but you will soon.
All right, Jack,
You will
explain
find
who
out soon
Skitch is
enough.
once more for those who are
Skitch
just joining us.
is the guy at Channel Awesome who does most of the reworkings of music. He did the theme for Kickassia. Did you also do To Boldly Flee?
Yes, I did.
All right. And so anytime like you watch one of those or you hear something that sounds kind of like a song, but it isn't, that was probably him.
It might have been me.
Alrighty then. Thunder One Soldier asks, thoughts on the It remake? I don't really have any thoughts. I'll have more if a trailer comes out at some point.
Yeah. My feelings on the It remake are just purely speculatory because my feeling is if they just stick to the story of the kids and don't worry about the adult half of that story.
I really find the second half of that with the adults so boring.
It's really tedious.
Every time the book cut to the adult story, I just got bored, and I had the same problem with the second half of the first movie.
Yeah, because like the adult actors just weren't as good.
No,
No. even though like some of the child actors are really corny, like it kind of worked because it was set in the 50s, whereas the adult actors really had no fucking excuse. And I'm like, why is isn't Olivia Hussey kind of too good for this? Just be really fucking honest. But that movie could be remade. Although, like, oh god, yeah, you have to pare down. The biggest problem with any It adaptation is you do have to change large portions of the story just to do it. Because that book is immense. It's almost as bad as The Stand that way. But The Stand at least has like a progression of events that you can follow. A very, very simple progression of events, whereas It takes some very strange turns. When we get to the giant spider part, that part of the story either succeeds or fails based on the special effects.
There you go. All right. Rocked Reviews comes in with another question. In fact, he labeled it question 2, just in case you're keeping track at home. If you could have one famous person pop out of a giant wooden birthday cake and sing Happy Birthday all Marilyn Monroe style, who would it be? And I'm going to assume that question's for me, given the hat. And I'm going to go with Danielle Harris, as long as she kills Jack immediately afterwards.
Oh, you son of a bitch! You son of a bitch!
Wouldn't jumping off a wooden cake be a problem with all the
Yeah.
splinters and
Yeah.
other pain?
yeah.
I mean, it seems implied that the person would break out, sing Happy Birthday, and then die. So I don't know. Depending on worst case scenario, I mean, just maybe I'm just a pessimist.
Unless you wanted the Kool-Aid Man. Hey, he seems to be able to bust through concrete.
That is true.
Yeah. I guess my answer to that would probably be like Elvira.
Pretty
There
safe,
you go.
but good answer.
Yeah.
Alrighty then, Rick Classic. A question for both Guru and Jack. What are your favorite Hammer horror movies? I'm gonna say right off the bat. I don't know if we've answered this question before, but off the top of my head right now, I'm gonna go with The Hound of the Baskervilles. I really love their version of that.
Probably Blood for Count Dracula.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, there's the rendition of Dracula is just really. Yeah, there's a great style.
Yeah,
to it
yeah,
in general.
One of the Hammer horror films that I really like, but I'm like, it's not the best, but I really like it, is their version of the Wolfman with Oliver Reed. One, because you got Oliver Reed as the Wolfman, that's kind of cool. Oh wait, am I thinking of the right guy? He was in Gladiator. He was the old Gladiator.
That would be Oliver Reed.
That would be Oliver Reed. Okay, just wanted to make sure I wasn't so drunk I was fucking him up with somebody else. And that one is also one of the really good Hammer horror movie because it has the most cleavage per minute ratio, and oh my god, there is a lot of it in that movie.
You're talking about the Curse of the Werewolf.
Curse of the Werewolf, yeah.
You had that one. You've only had one of those. How are you already that drunk?
I haven't eaten a lot.
That will help actually.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm still gonna make fun of you for it. All right.
I'm Asian, I can't drink. What do you want?
The name's Raccoon. I have a question. If I recommend Garth Nix's Old Kingdom books, all the real horror, modern, young adult fiction is in it. So would you read it? And I'm guessing if he recommends it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have much time on my hands, unfortunately. What about you, Jack?
I don't read. I don't read
Jack
a lot of
can't
fiction
read
anymore.
good.
I mainly watch movies. I mainly write. It's been a long time since I sat and actually read like a novel.
All right, Luke, Rocked Reviews. Question number 3. He's still keeping track. Good on you, Luke. Does watching this count as my first X-rated webcam show? Not quite yet.
No,
Not quite yet.
No.
Skitch's pants are still on.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they're gonna stay on until we hit those donation values. Wait, what?
How
best-
old? That was Luke's question?
Yeah.
Yes.
How old is he? You haven't seen an X-rated webcam show yet? Holy shit. You need to get on that, buddy.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, it's not. Really isn't. Like, follow my feed. Like, there are cam girls in there, I'm sure. Actually, I know for a fact there are. I don't know if I, like, share their shows, though, because...
That's they've actually made a cam girl game, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a game where you manage cam girls.
Oh, this is like a legitimate game, not like
Yes.
a game you play
No,
with
it's a legitimate game.
That's not as cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, oh yeah, there's a game you play with cam girls. It's like, yeah, say this and they'll like squirt for you or something.
No, it's like mind control. You would just hack into the cam girl themselves and control their minds from remote. No, actually, that's not it at all.
Oh, it's not at all.
That'd be creepy though.
It would be very strange.
It would be.
But I would imagine it'd be a Japanese or a Korean game because they've got that like stalker simulator.
Stalker Simulator.
Stalker Simulator.
Best game ever made.
I couldn't believe it. And the music is so like it's like a shoujo anime.
Yo Mars, if you're out there, you better review Stalker Simulator.
Oh my
I'm
god,
demanding
yeah.
it.
No, Yomar's gotta review Stalker Simulator.
I mean,
Holy crap.
the show.
Everyone who
anime,
follows
so
us,
music, it's-
follow Yo Mars on Twitter and demand he review Stalker Simulator. That is your mission. That is your
Yeah,
homework.
yeah.
That
Make him do it.
that is your birthday present. Let's be honest. That is what if you want to give a birthday present to the man with the better hat than me over there, You do this.
We got him to review Toilet Tycoon, so this could happen.
He was thinking about it, and we like pitched like an opening joke, and then like he ran with it. It was pretty
Yep.
cool.
That's a good accomplishment there.
Yeah.
Alrighty then, Ibrahim Hassan. Question to everyone: have you guys seen the music video "Forced Gender Reassignment" by Cattle Decapitation? And I have, and that video is awesome.
I have not.
Neither have I.
I need to fix this, obviously.
I need to get on that at some point.
Let me just say, I am so glad that music videos no longer have to be PG-13 because of the internet. So it is probably the goriest thing you'll ever see in a music video ever.
Nice.
Alrighty then. The cartoon physicist Naughty List asks, have you seen Repligator?
I have
think
seen Repligator.
Okay.
The Amanda Hagen showed me Repligator.
Of course she did.
Yeah, of course she did. Yep. Yep.
What is it? What do you expect from her?
Oh, well, it is the kind of movie I came to expect from her, but here's the thing. I wasn't expecting the kind of movie that it was. I was expecting, like, okay, so they replicate alligator people. I didn't realize it was going to be replicating alligator women specifically.
Okay.
And if you've ever seen the special effects for Cougar Cult 1313, which you can see a brief clip of in my Return of the Living Dead review, where Linnea Quigley turns into a cougar woman. The special effects are about like maybe 1 or 2 steps better than that, but not many.
Wow, I'm even looking at Cougar Cult for reference. That is.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. Wow.
Yeah. That's a still from the clip I used too. Yeah.
Alrighty then, Trevpocalypse. What do you find is the most interesting subculture? I really liked listening to you guys ramble on about various subcultures in metal music. I don't know about most interesting, but one that fascinated me when I watched a documentary on it is the Santa Claus subculture.
Oh man, yeah.
This is what? Tell me about this Santa Claus subculture.
There's an entire culture built around mall Santas. There's a documentary called I Am Santa Claus, hosted by Mick Foley, by the way, who does the journey to become a mall Santa over the course of the movie, and goes through all of the rituals one has to do in order to become an official mall Santa.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, there's like an initiation process and everything.
This is like Freemason shit here.
Yeah,
man.
it is. It is. Like, there's apparently like a couple of guys who are like considered like the Santa. Like, you gotta get one of these guys' approval to be allowed in. And one of them is a dude that literally lives on Santa Claus Lane.
Yeah, it is a street called Santa Claus Lane in a house labeled the North Pole. There's no number.
Yeah. And here's the freaky thing. The minute that guy shows up, you're 7 years old again. Because you're like, this guy's going to be weird and creepy. And instead, he is the sweetest man. And you're just like, Santa, I'd like a fucking Nintendo for Christmas
And a
this year.
chainsaw.
And peace on earth, goodwill to men. And
chicks.
yeah, and because the minute he sees Mick Foley, he's like, "Hi, Mick," and you're just like, "Oh my God, it's Santa Claus!" And you're like, and the guy's a little nuts because he believes that he has been empowered by God to inhabit the spirit of Santa Claus and give the gift of Santa Claus to all these other people. And the thing is, the guy is so nice and goes so far with it. You're like, I don't know if he's wrong. It's nuts. It's completely nuts.
There's Santa politics.
Yes.
There's an annual meeting of all the Santa Clauses from across the country that all meet up at this one location at Santa's Village, it's called.
Yeah. And they had that big like argument over the guy who was the leader, who became the head of the organization because it was discovered that he was a swinger.
Oh.
Yeah. He actually has a swingers club in I think Seattle.
Yeah.
They should be telling me there's Santanomics with trickle-down presents and stuff like that.
No, it's not quite like that, but there was this big hoopla over whether this guy should be allowed to lead the organization because of his sexuality and his. But the other thing was that he was a big proponent of allowing gay Santas in, which is kind of how he got the position.
We can tolerate a promiscuous Santa Claus, but we can't tolerate a gay Santa.
Well, here was the weird thing, like that the argument was that none of it should be allowed.
But see, that's actually a better hand. More even.
Yeah. It was at least fair.
Yeah.
But he had to convince everyone that just because someone was gay didn't mean that they were going to bring sexuality to Santa Claus. And in fact, the guy who is interviewed, who is a gay Santa, once again, sweet Texan man.
Oh man, the big gay bear Santa.
Big gay bear Santa. He's great. Part of the documentary captures his relationship, his long distance relationship with his boyfriend, and how, because he is in Texas, it's so hard for him to have this relationship. And that guy, dude, when that guy cries, you cry. You're like, oh, gay Santa, oh, it's so unfair.
I'm just here thinking of really stupid puns based on that.
You gotta see this documentary. It's really good. But yeah, that subculture is fascinating. You wouldn't even think that would be a subculture.
See, I'm deeply fascinated by it just by what you're describing.
Yeah, I Am Santa Claus, Ask It for It by Name. It's got Mick Foley on the cover.
Yeah, and it was on Netflix for a while, so if you have that, you might be able to still find it.
I guess the best part about it is that it's something you would not expect there to be a subculture that is that pervasive. I mean,
yeah, it's a big deal. They take it real seriously.
Like the one subculture I'm into is like, game music, chiptune music, and stuff like that. And yeah, but that's techie, geeky. You're expecting there to be a subculture, but Santa,
mall Santas, man.
Mall Santa specifically, right?
Yeah. There's a union.
Of course,
there's
a Santa union.
And you got to think about that. They only work one part of the year. So
they work they're only Santa Claus 6 weeks out of the year.
Which leaves the question, what do they do for the rest of the year? And that also they explore. So it's a really good doc.
They also explore the fact that the irony is the one day that they cannot be seen as Santa Claus is Christmas.
Of course.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be delivering the presents. So if they're seen on Christmas, they're ruining the magic.
Yeah. And the guy who is the official real Santa Claus of WWF, as opposed to when Mick Foley does it, there's another guy. This documentary shows Mick Foley meeting the other guy, the guy who actually becomes WWF Santa. When real Santa Claus is supposed to show up on the show. And that guy's great. That guy is awesome. He's a Jersey fucking air conditioning installman, and he's a really cool guy, and everything is great. You're following him, and then he gets to his job. And when he gets to his job, he just walks in, he's in a bad mood, he's angry, and he's like, I hate my job. I hate being here. I hate having to yell at people. I hate having to fucking sue people to get the money that they owe me. And he just hates every aspect of his job, but it's what makes the real money. And Santa Claus, being Santa Claus is kind of his escape.
Right.
He's allowed to be who he feels, a lot closer to who he feels he really is, which is this really nice, generous, understanding dude that he can't be on the job. So yeah, that documentary is absolutely fascinating.
Is Santa gonna have to choke a bitch?
I think he might actually say that at one point. He doesn't say that as Santa Claus, but he says that as the guy who dons the costume.
Right.
Because he's like, why is people acting like this? Makes me so angry. And the thing is he's the most liberal guy ever. He was the first guy to back up Gay Bear Texan Santa. He's like, no. It's like this is a good man.
Good man.
Yeah, he should be Santa Claus. I believe him. I don't know about that. Well, what don't you know? And he's, very, very super liberal guy. And it was like, oh, I'm not used to watching a guy with a thick Jersey accent be like a really aggressive liberal.
Alrighty then, we're gonna move on to the next question. Rachel reviews, of all the night breeds living in Midian, which is your favorite? For me, I'm gonna have to go with the fat dude that has like the tentacles coming out of his stomach. I love that guy.
Well, for me, that should be obvious. So it should be Shinasase.
There you go. Question answered. And we're just gonna make up one for Skitch.
Yeah, go. That would be for the best. Yes.
Skitch loves that fat one that like walks around like.
That is a pretty
Yeah,
good
it's
one.
tough.
Yeah, I can agree with that one.
There you go.
He just opens his mouth and drool comes out.
All right, miscellaneous soup. Should I make popcorn? Go ahead.
These aren't the that isn't the kind of question we're here for. That sounds like life advice.
You know what? You can make that popcorn all you want. It's not gonna wash away the fears.
I often go to streams and I'm just like, hey, I really gotta take a shit right now. Should I do it? And just see where they land.
No, you hold it to the bitter end. We're going for 8 hours now.
I believe in you. I believe in your balls. I will believe you'll see it through.
Oh my god. All right, Ibrahim Hassan. Question to Jack. Will you ever get a Titan class Transformers like Fortress Maximus or Metroplex?
That's a money issue. That is the only issue. I would totally do that if I had cash. Unfortunately, I do not.
How much cash do you kind of need for something like that?
Like $400 or $500.
Wow.
Yeah, the Titan class. Oh, actually, like I think the Titan class Metroplex, when it first came out, it was like $250,
Wow.
which was a deal. But like now, you have to go to like eBay. Now it's like $400 or $500.
Yeah, there's a Famicom game I would like to pick up, but it's about $400 to $500 just to get it.
Oh, which one?
Gimmick for the Famicom because it has a special sound chip on it. It's a late release and there's a limited release. A few years ago it was like $200, $250, but now if you want to get a cart by itself, about $400 min.
Really?
And the worst part is I'd be buying it intentionally for someone else to destroy it for investigation purposes. Because
just to find out how it was made.
to find out how the sound chip operates on it, because there's no good, I believe as far as I can tell, no really good emulation environment to really model what that sound chip does, because no one's willing to cannibalize that cart for the purpose of actually controlling the stuff on there. So like you have to have someone who's willing to buy a cart just to send it off to a guy who knows what he's doing to pull out the ROM chip, put in their own ROM chip, and then directly control the stuff on there. And like I would do it if I had the money to do it, for just purely for the archival purposes.
Exactly.
It's like we gotta find the sacrifice.
Yeah, man. We got another question?
Yeah, of course. King of the Ozone, who I really, really want to call King of the Brozone for some reason.
You gotta do something about that hole, man.
You gotta fix the hole, man. Do it. You're a bad king. It's falling apart on your watch. Okay, King of the Ozone asks, favorite subgenre of metal? I'm a mellow death and thrash kind of guy, so there you go.
I guess my favorite subgenre would be what they refer to as doom metal.
I mean, for me, I'm generally a fan of at least well-executed prog metal. It just has to be good prog metal because it's so easy for that to just
Well,
go.
yeah. Progressive is it's like calling something experimental,
Right.
You know.
I mean, basically just longer forms, usually more complex chord structures, dips into math rockism at times if you want to get into that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Like
That shit is fascinating.
It is fascinating, and sometimes it's really fascinating to listen to, and then other times you're just like, okay, you're just masturbating with your meter changes here, man. Just stop making these abrupt changes. So
yeah.
And there's always a little bit of something where there's different ways different countries approach it that makes it fun too. That's always kind of neat to see the cultural differences in metal.
Yeah, like I like we're talking about like bands that experiment with their sound. Like Opeth is a good one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're a really great progressive band. I like them. All right, the name's Raccoon. Opinions on I Hate Everything, and do you think he'd be a good fit for Channel Awesome? I do not watch him, so I really don't have an opinion on him. So.
Would he be a good fit for Channel Awesome? I have no idea. I've never met the guy.
Alrighty then. William Price. Hope this wasn't asked before, but were any of you in a band before? I've never been in a band.
Nope, me neither.
Neither have I.
So there you go. Ibrahim Hassan. Question to everyone. What is the worst John Carpenter movie ever made? This will probably be a weird answer for most people, but I'm going to go with Village of the Damned because of all the John Carpenter movies, it's the one I'm least likely to watch again.
Yeah, I'll agree with that one. It's not the best. There are a lot of movies that he did, like there's some of the movies he did like post Prince of Darkness or get really, some aren't so good. But then he did In the Mouth of Madness, and that one was great.
Thunder One Soldier. Didn't Tales from the Crypt have a Santa episode? Yes, it is actually the first episode. And it's actually the second time that particular Crypt story was adapted into film. The first time was actually the Tales from the Crypt movie from the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to see two different takes on that same comic, there you go. All right, Otterpaw Studios. What are your favorite Amicus horror anthologies?
Amicus?
Yeah. They were kind of a competitor of Hammer Horror back in the day. If I'm thinking of the right company, but let me double check that.
You might have to school me on this one. I am actually.
Yeah. Amicus Productions. They were essentially a Hammer Horror competitor. And with that said, I'm gonna have to go with Asylum. I love Asylum. And for the record, Jack, that Tales from the Crypt movie from the 70s, that was them.
That was them? Okay.
Yeah.
That's the only one I know that I've seen that was them. So
yeah, there's chances are you've seen another one. It's just you probably didn't know what they were called. Like they made Madhouse. Like they.
Oh, I remember Madhouse. Yeah.
Yeah, they've made a bunch of movies.
Okay.
Let's see. Scrolling down. Let's see. Rick Classic. Do you think the Santas vote by the number of hoes they hoe? Rick Classic, you're my hero. All right, Nicholas Kurtz. Question for Jack. Do you have a favorite movie that is not a horror movie?
Yes. I have
Plenty.
quite a few of them. Might have to narrow that down. I really like Joe versus the Volcano.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. It's not a horror movie. Let's see.
Nice and mythical.
Yeah. Beautiful mythical fairy tale about a guy who's going to throw himself into a volcano and finds love along the way. It's got Tom Hanks in it.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
And Meg Ryan playing 3 different roles.
Okay.
Alrighty then, on to the next question. Rachel reviews. Who is Mick Foley? Well, Mick Foley was a wrestler. He's most known for playing Mankind back in the 90s. And these days, he's known as a children's author and an all-around awesome guy.
I thought he was known most for his commercials for Chef Boyardee ravioli. I think
there you go.
That's really what he was. That's what he was most famous for.
Yeah, that was bigger than Snap into a Slim Jim.
Yeah.
Really,
Everyone knows Mankind with ravioli. It's just like.
Well, I love that one. God, who was that one wrestler who did that ad for like a fucking mall chain?
Oh, Zellers. Like,
Zellers.
That was Vic Venus.
Vic Venus.
Hello, Zellers.
God.
It was only in Canada because Zellers was a Canadian chain.
Got it.
It's fantastic, though.
All right, Ibrahim Hassan. Question to Jack and Guru, but I'm going to field this question to Jack because he is far more well-versed than I am.
Okay.
What Russ Meyer movies do you guys recommend?
Oh, what Russ Meyer movies I recommend? Well, you've got Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. That is the timeless classic. I also recommend Beyond the Valley of the Ultra Vixens. And if you like some documentary style, he did one all about San Francisco titty bars. This was obviously back in the 60s. Really, really, really interesting because it goes into the ins and outs of the titty bar and the differences between the titty bar and the strip club, because there is a difference. What a lot of the girls said was that they prefer to work in the titty bar because the titty bar is generally very much nicer. You know, because it's like, hi, I'm topless. How you doing? You know, occasionally guys may try to get a feel, but for the most part, they're just like nice. They're just happy to have like naked tits serving them beer. You know? Yeah, exactly. Whereas in the strip club, guys get like a little more handsy. You know?
Yeah.
But it's a really good documentary. Obviously, it is slanted because it is the idea that T-bar is the greatest thing that have ever existed ever. So bear that in mind. Up is not a bad one, but that one's a little incomprehensible. It's about a girl. Stuff happens. Hitler appears.
Sounds like a classic, though.
It kind of
There you go. Alrighty then, moving on to Star Wars 90,001. All right, took me a minute to read that.
Oh,
one.
that's the guy's name. It's like, I got a Star Wars question.
That's his name.
Okay.
Star Wars 90,001.
Nice.
Question for Jackula. What horror movie have you watched that tried to be scary but was just kind of funny?
Like unintentionally hilarious.
Yeah, something that was obviously going for scary, but ended up being so bad it was just hilarious.
I could think of one that would be a potential for that one. What was Deadly Friend? One?
Deadly Friend is a good one. Yeah.
Just because like they the music score for that totally tries to play it serious, but you have that
That's true.
You have the Frank Welker sort of like baby voice, and
Yeah.
then the basketball blasting that woman's head off like a fucking balloon. Just like what?
Well, yeah. How the robot comes out of the
Right.
girl at the end. You're like,
Yes.
what?
And so like
Yeah.
it's one of those things where, yeah, I would say that'd be the example, because if you were to follow the score, it's trying to be an actual horror movie, but there's no way that it's scary at any point.
It really isn't. Like, yeah, Deadly Friend is a good example. Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, the Toy Maker.
Oh yeah, that one.
Fucking, I love that one. That is the one where literally Geppetto and Pinocchio move next door to someone, and Pinocchio tries to rape a boy's mom, but he's got no dick. So he tries to make one. Classic.
Alrighty then, Luke of Rocked Reviews has a fourth question, which he has labeled question 4, for those of you keeping track at home.
Consider it.
Yeah.
What's the best way to ask a girl out / get a girl's attention who I feel is out of my league?
Who I feel is out of your league.
My advice is just talk to her. If you hit it off, ask her out. But Jack might have more elaborate advice.
More elaborate. Well, it really depends on the. If you want me to ask this seriously, you have to consider the environment. You have to consider whether it's a good time. Like if she's in the bar and is dancing, she might be a little bit more open than if she is just like, say, at work. You know, you definitely want to figure out whether you have any interests in common. You want to know if there's particularly like fun activities, things that are actually fun to do, generally physically. Because when we're talking about girls we feel are out of our league, usually there's a physicality component to it. You know, like this girl works out a lot, or, you know, stuff like that. Or it might be that you feel that she's that way because she's way too intelligent, but usually that's really getting a smart girl is either going to talk to you or is going to completely ignore you no matter what happens. But if you want like real advice is this: a girl out of your league picks you. She picks you, and all you can do is be the most interesting version of you that you can be in order to get her attention. And if that fails, well, then she was just never going to be interested to begin with, and just fucking give up. Just don't worry about it. Second of all, probably even better way of putting it, fucking nut up, and just, you know, if you want her attention, you could do what I do, which is I talk and someone is like, "Are you staring at that girl's ass?" I'd be like, "Yes, I'm staring at her ass." It has a nice shape, it has a nice size, nice consistency. I like the way it moves and walks. And when she looks at you, you go like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm talking about your ass." And if she goes like, "Why are you talking about my ass?" It's like, "Because it's there and I liked it. It's beautiful. You should be happy. Your mom blessed you." And if it turns out you did something else to achieve it, hey, I couldn't even tell. It was that good. It was that good.
And to be fair, their reaction to that will say a lot about what the compatibility might be.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, if you lead in with something like that and the reaction is positive, then you're hitting something, right? You know, I guess another way you're saying is like, there's no need to be cute or coy about it. You know, if you are interested,
They're generally not.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and because if anything, if you have feelings, try to be as honest as you can about them. Worst thing that can happen, your interest is not returned.
We don't want to. You don't want to. How to put it? Like there's this space between absolute honesty and playing it cool.
Sure.
And like it's somewhere you usually want to hit somewhere in the middle, because if you just have it way out there, then it goes like, whoa.
Right.
Pull back, cowboy. Like,
what I simply mean though is like we're saying, take a shot, put yourself out there in some capacity. It's the fact that like worst thing that can happen is they're not interested. Okay.
Yeah. The generally the best response you can get is like total attention, but like after that, which is what's a little bit more normal, is if she smiles when you've got her attention and you do something, then you're at least in the maybe pile.
Right.
You know, and like the only way you don't start in the maybe pile is if she's picked you.
Alrighty then. Ivy the Twisted, and I fucking love that name.
Yeah,
Great
it's a great
name,
name.
Ivy. Question for everyone: what are your favorite anthology TV series? For me, I'm gonna go Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt, Amazing Stories, in that order.
For me, it would be Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side, and Monsters.
I mean, I'm just generally a Tales from the Crypt fan when it comes to that, because I don't really watch that many anthology shows. And
they don't make them as much.
And that's exactly, they don't make. I mean, I remember they even had like the kid stuff with the whole "Are You Afraid of the Dark" sort of stuff back when we were in the '90s.
Oh yeah.
And so like anthology shows were just kind of a bigger '80s, '90s, and even an earlier thing with the Twilight Zone sort of stuff. So
yeah,
it's like we just aren't in that. And in fact, nowadays, what we'd most likely have would be webisode anthology shows, where basically each segment of the anthology would be its own standalone short entity.
One show that I really wish had actually gone all the way with its concept was Misfits of Science. Because that, I mean, it's hosted by like a sexy robot girl, but it's like 90s CGI and like sexy robot girl, so it's kind of like, oh, why don't you just get an actual host and put her in a robot suit? You know, make her look like a Soriyama babe. And the problem is that the episodes never quite lived up to that title, because you're like, wait, is this all an anthology all about like sex and science fiction? Science friction? That should be awesome. And it would have been had they not decided to go like G-rated with it, because that's what got awkward. It's like Patton Oswalt said, it's way less disturbing to just do sexual content than it is to go like, I'm going to fill your hoo-ha with goof juice. You know, like, that's just like way more disturbing to make something R-rated, G-rated. It just doesn't feel right.
Were you just quoting like a Goof Troop porno spoof right there?
It probably should be.
That is a lie you got to say for that.
Yeah. But like I liked what the concept of Misfits of Science was trying to be. It just didn't live up to it. And that always made me real sad, because I was like, oh, come on, like sex and science fiction. This should be my favorite show ever. You know.
Alrighty then. Ibrahim Hassan. Question to everyone. So Skitch, you can contribute to this one.
Maybe we'll see.
Question. To everyone, what video games need to be made into movies? And I actually have a very specific answer for this. Brutal Legend, the animated movie.
Yes. Yeah. That's a really good one.
Brutal Legend would work, if only because the concept was very much there for how the story would work. The game dramatically under-delivered what that premise would be.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not like you need to really work that hard to get a decent voice cast or score because it's all there.
Yeah, like I had this whole image of what was gonna that game was gonna be, and I thought it was gonna be like like maybe 3D beat 'em up or something.
Yeah.
And like I had an image because they were like, yeah, Rob Halford's in it, and I'm like, oh my god, are you gonna fight the Pangel? That'd be fucking amazing. And then no, and then they were like, oh, we got Ozzy's gonna be in it, and I'm like, are we gonna actually fight Iron Man on a crazy train? No. Because I had the level design that I had in my head for fighting Ozzy Osbourne was like you get on the train and all these zombies start coming at you, and it's just survival mode while Crazy Train is playing, and at the end you got to make to the front of the Crazy Train and like break the front of the end of the fucking locomotive off, and the locomotive is literally Ozzy Osbourne singing the song Crazy Train, so that his head gets knocked off. The whole train derails, and all of a sudden, a mountain stands up. He picks up the front of the fucking train, puts it on his head, and I am Iron Man. They got fight Iron Man. Now that was what I had in my mind.
Now, to be fair, that would not have been the game Tim Schafer would have made. That'd be the type of game Suda51 would have made.
Probably,
because
that sounds about right.
That sort of over style over substance design philosophy is really Suda51's game.
Yeah, that's definitely their style.
So, like, in terms of like what needs to be turned into a movie, that's rough because the only reason why I would say something needs to be turned into a movie is if you wanted to have the plot represented in a certain way or explored in a way that's not a literal translation of the game, and I can't think of many that I would really want to see that happen for. Some of them I think would be fun as just sort of sensory experiences, like let's say No More Heroes, just as
an anime or something.
As a movie, just because let's be honest, you cut out the filler of all the jobs and you just have these ridiculous boss fights, and you can package that as a movie with pretty much a weak plot, and it would be just a sensory experience.
Well, one of the things I did like about No More Heroes is very obviously kind of inspired by Takeshi Miike.
Yeah.
So if he like turned around and did a movie of that, it would probably go.
That would be the best.
It would be the best.
Miike's treatment of Phoenix Wright was pretty ridiculous. Did you ever see that?
I haven't gotten to see that.
I watched it. Okay, and as a treatment of the first game in the franchise, it's a little condensed, but it actually is very, very good at what it does.
Yeah, I was told it's basically like an anthology film. Like it's like 3 different cases.
Well, because the first game is multiple cases, but the cases have actually a thread that connects all of them, which is revealed in the final case. And so the movie tries to do that as well. And it does generally a good job. The aesthetics are done, the casting seems good, and it was a fun film. And I guess that's the only other option, really, is taking a visual novel and turning it into a movie, which is like, well, it's been done. And it's kind of cheating because all you're doing is basically like taking a manga and making it into a movie or a comic. You're just taking like something that has a lot of text in it and making people actually speak in it.
Yeah, there's the big problem I find with like video game movies is you're taking like something that's like a 6 to 40 hour experience and trying to condense it down to 2.5 hours. Yeah, it's a problem.
Especially for the ones that have a more dramatic story. I mean, if you want to go something that's super like Dario Argento artful stuff, do like Shadow of the Colossus, but as a movie with almost no dialogue the entire time, that'd be like you could get away with it, but it would just be so hard to actually sell people on as a experience.
Yeah, and the funny thing is all the other ones that I think should have been made into movies were, and most of them were really bad, with one exception, which is the greatest video game movie of all time, which is Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, okay.
I love that movie.
I thought you were going to say Mortal Kombat, the first one.
Oh, no. I like Mortal Kombat, the first one, but that's not the best.
No, at least
it's not Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
No, at least it was a faithful adaptation of the game.
It tried. It tried.
It was one of the better ones that was trying to do a direct adaptation of what the game was. I mean, Super Mario Brothers is not a direct adaptation of Mario Brothers. It's
right.
Insane pile. But then you have stuff like Silent Hill, which
it almost did it.
Starts doing a direct adaptation and it has some great cinematography, and then the script takes a huge left turn. It's like, what is this bullshit?
Oh man, there's a really sad story behind all that.
Yeah.
So it turns out all the things. Now it looked like the movie was already going to be a little like,
Yeah.
but everything in that movie that is truly horrendous, like I like Sean Bean. Why is he here?
Yeah.
Why are we explaining the plot in this weird flashback? Those were all demands that were made after a disastrous test screening. Yeah, like before that, Sean Bean character didn't exist. It was just a woman and her daughter because they thought that it would be cool to switch up the formula and have a mother run after a daughter and to watch that dynamic in action. But they were like, well, no, why aren't there any men here? And they're like, it's not a story about that. It's a daughter and a mother.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we need a male character to bring in the male audience. And they're like, what? Okay, fine.
Aren't they gonna be brought in by the fact that it's fucking Silent Hill?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
but that's not what they. It's not what they saw.
I hate test screenings sometimes because sometimes I get what the point of them is, but at the same time it's like, at some point this is gonna compromise a lot of what this film's trying to do.
Yeah, like Tarantino said it best. He's like, he actually loves test screenings, but he hates the way they're used.
Mhm.
You know, he's like, a test screening is great. You can see what parts of the movie are working and which parts aren't. But the problem is then they take the advice of the people in the test screening, and that's the worst idea.
Right, because basically it's one of the general adages that people don't know what they want, and so if you ask them what they want, they're not going to tell you what they really want.
They're going to give you whatever it is their opinion is that day.
You know,
it's not necessarily going to apply.
And Josh seems to want us to stop talking over there with his little hat.
You guys keep talking. I'm just going to make fun of you over here.
I can see you over there.
Alrighty then. Nicholas Kurtz has a question, and we should probably move on to the next question.
All right. Let's do it. Nicholas has asked a lot of questions.
Yes, he has, but he has not numbered them like Luke, so
I
he's
have no idea how
far
many
less
he has.
considerate.
Yeah. Rude.
You got to get on that, Nicholas Kurtz. Question for all three of you. In a battle royale where the players are all the famous horror icons like Dracula, Leatherface, Pumpkinhead, who would win? Well, there's one problem with that. If you're going by icons, as in ones that had multiple movies and essentially had their own franchises, then one of those icons is literally death itself.
Yeah.
It's kind of cheating.
But if you were talking like, oh god, what was that game called? It's not called Terror Train.
King of Monsters?
No, not King of Monsters. Someone actually did. There's like a fan-made horror fighting game.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Terror Dome.
Terror Dome, yes.
Terror Dome, that's a nice name.
Yeah.
A
Where
great
literally
name.
they put together a fighting game where it's like Pumpkinhead fights Mike Myers, like
Yeah,
Street Fighter
it's like a
style.
Mortal Kombat style game, but
So,
It's really fun. The parts of that game are actually really well put together.
talking about games that like do not file under fair use at all.
Oh god, no.
but to be fair, some of those
God,
characters,
no.
depending on what character, I mean, it sounds like some of the characters are not public domain characters either.
Oh no. That thing is copy ripped off.
Yeah, it's been taken down multiple times, but they keep bringing it back up because
Bringing
they're
it back.
persistent.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the people that do Mortal Kombat are kind of backdoor sneak that game in.
Well, they are by bringing in Jason, by bringing in Predator. They're obviously trying to get that kind of thing off the ground. I hope they succeed because it's already kind of awesome. You can play as Jason and
in one of the new Mortal Kombats, like they're putting the alien in.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah,
as long as it doesn't play like the Deadliest Warrior, I think we'll be fine because that game is a piece of hot shit. That's just as a random side note, one-hit kills are not fun.
It only kills your enjoyment of life. You know?
That's a good quote for the box.
The Awesome Man 13 comes in with question number 2. He is also numbering his questions, much like Luke. He is far more considerate than some of you other ungrateful bastards.
Looking at you.
Just kidding. We love you all. The Awesome Man 13. Question number 2. For everyone, what do you think is the most complex or intelligent horror film? Most complex or intelligent? I guess something. I guess my brain goes to first something like Jacob's Ladder. I guess.
Yeah. My problem is complex usually only sounds smart. It's not actually usually intelligent.
Yeah, because
Right.
complex and intelligent are two different things.
Yeah.
Which is good that he said or, but
But
that means he's asking for two completely different types of movies.
let's see, like a really complex one.
Because complex could also just mean,
Hmm.
I mean, to be fair, like, I'm trying to think.
Oh, you know what? Probably The Shining would qualify.
The Shining would be
Mhm.
complex. I would not necessarily say it's intelligent, but it's definitely.
I think it's.
com-
I think that one's pretty smart, actually. You know, but as far as like actually making a real point, because The Shining doesn't really make a point. It's just telling this complex story.
It's very surreal.
yeah, very surreal. I think smart. When I think of smart, like I think of a movie like Martyrs or Serbian film, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
You know, like the really like they kind of like art house horror films.
Right. I mean, that's when you get into like intelligent, borderline pretentious. You're looking at whatever is considered art house in that realm, and then
Yeah. Usually you can find some find some gems in that.
Yeah.
You know, like The Witch is one of those. It's really intelligent.
Mhm.
It's not super scary, but it is really good.
It's also an example of one that's super intelligent but not super complex. It's actually very
The Witch
simple.
is very simple.
and it's really important. Sometimes some people think that you need to be complex in order to be intelligent, but if you
Yeah.
just do a basic idea, but you do it in a way most people don't think about, or you make the audience change some of their own expectations about it as a result of the film. That's a really
Stories are actually generally really simple. Like stories that seem complex are actually a bunch of simple things that are happening. That there are a bunch of simple things that are happening at once.
Mhm.
A really good example of that probably be Game of Thrones.
Mhm.
Like that story is actually only complex in its gestalt.
Right.
But any one thing that happens is really simple. Guy
Well-
wants this, fails. Guy does this, kind of succeeds. You know, but the fact that it's doing all those things at once that makes it complex. Whereas,
Well, what makes it complex is that it's a bunch of interwoven stories. So it is
Yeah.
a complex universe
Right.
of things happening at once.
yeah, but like so often, if you make the mistake of thinking complex is smart or better, which I see complexes are better. No.
no.
Well, it's like when people think that making a better story means making more story as opposed to making a better story.
We even learned this in even when I was taking an improv class a while back. Was what would happen is you would start up a story, and then eventually people would try to add other complications, and the instructor would stop and say, like, "Why are you making this thing more complex? You've established what the problem is. You established what needs to be done to fix it. So just fix it." But once you fix it, have something else happen once you fix it, as opposed to just adding complications. So you can have a story that can be smart by having a simple setup, and then when this resolves, then expectations are changed. You know, and to point back to the game,
It's usually better to change exploitations and create complications.
like Shadow of the Colossus, where it's a simple game. You go beat bosses, and then we get to the end of the game, you are consumed and become a boss that is killed off because of things. So it does a little bit of a twist at the end, but the game's setup and delivery is not complex at all. It's just
Yeah. Another good example of one that's complex and gestalt is Fallout 4.
yeah,
Because all those stories are very
Oh, absolutely.
simple. But when you put them together, it weaves this complex tapestry, which is probably actually a good way to put it, because a tapestry is a bunch of simple
yeah.
choices.
And that's kind of the nature of those sort of larger environments. So, like when you go into the context of horror films, I'm trying to think of ones that would be smart. I mean, would you consider something like, I don't know, Seven to be a horror sort of thing?
Oh yeah, I consider Seven a horror movie.
So I mean, I think that was one that was pretty smart about how it approached things, because not only in how it sets up its final scene, but also how it controlled how you were to expect what the final scene was going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they made a very good job of not telegraphing that Kevin Spacey was the villain. And so when he shows up, it's just like, okay, what is this? And then it slowly builds out. And so it's a very, very well paced out, very well laid out sort of final set of events.
Yeah.
And realistically, again, it's not a complex story.
Yeah.
It ultimately is a fairly simple story. It's guys killing people off. They are trying to find out who the killer is. They find out who he is, but oh wait, too late.
Yeah, way too late. He's already kind of won.
Yeah, he already won.
Except for this one potential choice, and it leaves you with that question of like, is it justice You know,
Or did he just lose?
or did he just lose?
Yeah.
Like, did he win or lose?
Yeah.
You know. God, I love the way that movie ends.
It's-
Which is, the world is a fine place and worth fighting for. I believe the second part, black. You know, and then that fucking David Bowie cover Nine Inch Nails starts up.
I remember watching something about that movie and how they try to rewrite that final scene to make the box contain a dog as opposed to his wife's head and stuff like that. But David Fincher, when he got the script, it was the original version, not the edited one, and he insisted on doing the original script, or he would not do the film.
Which is a wise choice.
Yeah.
because
It
the
was
dog
a
would
very
not be
wise
as
choice
good.
because it's a better ending.
Yeah.
That would be an example where you would end up watering it down and not making it nearly as good a movie.
Right.
Alrighty then. Isaac in the chat asks, have any of you heard about the new CW horror show, Transylvania? I have not. So.
No, I have not. I'm very surprised. I usually know everything that's happening over on CW land.
Of course. I have you pinned down as a CW connoisseur.
No, I watch Supernatural, and in Supernatural they are constantly showing us ads for like other shows.
But by constantly, you mean the same ad over and over again?
Yeah.
For one other
It's
show.
like, hi, why do you want to see the iZombie commercial? Okay. Want to see it twice in a row?
Want to see it again?
In
Too
watching
bad.
one episode of Supernatural on their website, you will sit through the same ad like 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the cartoon physicist Naughty List asks, question for Jack and Guru, have you watched the horror review show Screaming Soup? I have. In fact, if you keep watching, you will see a cameo with me coming soon.
Sweet.
Yay.
I do not have a cameo on Screaming Soup.
No.
So there you go. Jackie Nova, worst Wes Craven movie. All right. Okay, this is
Worst.
this is much harder than John Carpenter because he's Cursed is some shit. But I kind of hate My Soul to Take More. So there we go.
Oh my God, the one where they all converge in the house and they all have a part of the soul, the killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's balls.
That one's really bad.
That's pretty awful.
And I'm fairly certain this question does not include those bullshit Wes Craven Presents movies.
No, those don't count.
No,
Yeah.
no, that doesn't count.
Like Don't Look Down and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know,
no.
and the sad fact is, I'd rather watch A Vampire in Brooklyn than Cursed or My Soul to Take.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, Cursed has that problem that a lot of Wes Craven movies have, and which is, it's the same problem that Deadly Friend has, which is you're like, what's the tone of this movie?
Yeah.
What's the tone of this movie, and what's the story? Like Deadly Friend, Cursed, and oh God, there's another one, but I can't think of it. Like, they have this problem where the tone seems really off, and you're like, what was the story?
Well, with Curse, there's a specific reason for that. They originally shot one movie, and then halfway through, the studio watched it, hated it, and then made them redo it all in this different style that they wanted, which was more like Scream. And as a result, we ended up with the mess that we got.
Yeah, like the as I remember, like the original Curse was really just a story about two girls fighting over a guy, but everyone's a werewolf.
I don't even know. I have no idea what that original Curse would have been like, to be honest.
You know, what you said about Deadly Friend is kind of interesting because part of me thinks it was in some ways an attempt to try to do, I can't presume intent, but like how Nightmare on Elm Street was not, it was a horror movie, but there's clearly elements where the villain was trying to be funny and have fun at the expense of his victims in nice ways. And so like trying to fuse that in an intentional manner is very hard.
Because
because
Nightmare is an example where it really succeeded because it only exists in the one character.
right.
You know, like he is really, really getting off on all the fear and all the killings
Right.
he gets to do.
Right, and the fact is that he's having fun
Yeah.
at the expense of the characters, whereas, and the funniness is parts because what he's doing is kind of funny on its own.
Shocker! That was the other one where like
Oh, okay.
the tone kind of goes all
Yeah.
over the place.
I
You know.
forgot when I mentioned Deadly Friend, like, oh, that was a Wes Craven movie.
Yeah.
That is another good
And
example.
it's what he directed on top of that. It's like,
Yep.
oh shit, what?
But I think some of the worst Wes Craven directing has got to be Last House on the Left. Very influential film, very important film, not a very well made film. That is one where the subject matter mattered a lot more than the actual film itself.
There you go. Satan Lord, question for everyone. What's your favorite horror game? I like Dead Space, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Silent Hill.
Silent Hill, Fatal Frame 1 and 2.
It's tough. Resident Evil, the GameCube edition, and any remakes based on that. Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill is a good one.
Yeah. In terms of like horror games that actually scare me, the only one that really did that was the original Siren on PS2 because that.
Oh,
game,
I never played Siren.
yeah, like not the ones that were for PS3, but the PS2 one, and that's just mostly because it was one of those games that really played up with the fact that you are so vulnerable. If you fuck up, those ghosts, zombies, whatever they were, would chase you down, and you're fucking dead because you could not fight back. And
Yeah.
so when you and that's what a lot of horror games just don't do is they make you feel helpless.
Yeah,
Really.
or they amp that up too much.
And then it's like a QTE game or
A good example of a series where it's like I think the character is a little too helpless in this is Haunting Ground.
oh geez, I mean haunted grounds or whatever. I mean,
Haunted
Grounds,
Grounds,
right?
yeah.
Because I know about that game because oh geez, what was that supposed to be?
That was originally supposed to be Clock Tower 3.
Right, because I own a copy of that game, and I'm holding on to that fucking game because it's expensive as shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But that game, oh man, I have such mixed feelings about it because there are things I really like about it.
Yeah. There are a lot of really good aspects to that game, but overall the experience is very disappointing.
It is.
You know, it's how to put it. The Clock Tower games are these great attempts to bring Italian horror films to video game, and they succeed on a lot of levels. But you have this problem, which is that because you're doing these Italian movies, and usually you're basing it off of the version you got in your country, your understanding of the plot is super fucked up.
Yeah.
Like Phenomenon with Jennifer Connelly, which is the inspiration for the first Clock Tower, is actually a much more straightforward story than people think it is because of the way the movie was recut. Like there is this whole scene that is cut out where they explain her connection with insects. Now, it's not a great explanation, but it's there just to let you know insects love her. That why do they do what she wants? Because they're in love with her. And you're like, okay, why is she on this bus? She's following this moth because the moth has basically said it's going to lead her to kill her. But in American cut of that movie, that scene is cut out, so she's just on a bus now. She's just walking into a random spooky house, and you're like,
I will say a game I played recently was Until Dawn, and I would classify
I haven't played that yet.
What I'll say about that is one, I played it first and foremost because I know the guy who did the music, Jason Graves, who also did the music for Dead Space. And I would say it's actually his most conventional sounding score because, well, Dead Space was so out there. The Tomb Raider stuff he did was so far up there. The tech in that game is really good. I mean, they got facial animations down a lot better. They've got digitizing actors really down. It basically plays out like an interactive horror movie. If you go in thinking that it's an interactive horror movie and not an adventure game that's with horror elements, it's a pretty fun ride. It's a good it's a good 5-hour ride.
Yeah. Kaluna of Kaluna Reviews, who's also on the site, did a series of Let's Plays on Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really wanted us to play that game. We just never really had time to do it.
Well,
Yeah, we will eventually. It'll happen.
Yeah, but we would help if I owned a PS4.
Well,
Yeah. Rachel Reviews. Question for all of you. Have you guys seen DC's Legends of Tomorrow? I have not seen it because I tried watching the first season of Arrow and kind of hated it, so I haven't bothered with any of those DC Universe TV shows after that.
That's kind of the deal. Like, I watched Arrow, and I was like, all right, green Bat Arrow Man. all right. And then they made Gotham, and I was like, really?
More Batman.
More Batman? Okay, fine.
It's like they're milking the Batman train.
Yeah,
I don't believe Gotham's actually connected with those with that.
No,
universe
I don't
show.
either, but because it came out at the same time, I was just Batmaned out.
Right.
Mhm.
And the fact that they tried to make Arrow like fucking Batman, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And so Flash happens, and I'm like, well, this looks like a better direction. The problem is they do that thing that TV shows do, and more comics are doing this, and I hate it, which are they are explaining more and more things in dialogue, and I'm fucking despising that. You know, it's like, don't tell me about who Zoom is, just do the story and show me.
Just show me Zoom.
Yeah, just show me the guy. And then he showed up, and I was like, wait, you made Zoom Black Flash? All right, well, he's voiced by Tony Todd. That's pretty cool. Like, Tony Todd makes anything menacing with his voice, you know. But, okay, yeah, no. So when I see, like, Legends of Tomorrow, I'm like, whatever. When I see, like, Supergirl, I'm like, whatever. Fucking DC shows, man, they all look like fucking garbage.
The Name's Raccoon asks, will we ever see Count Jackula Let's Plays or Horror Guru Let's Plays, or maybe a cooperative Let's Play with the both of you?
Maybe.
I might start doing some streaming of me playing games, since I do play games in my off time. Whether I'll upload them as videos, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I've considered. I've recently gotten into the alpha stage of Eternal Crusade, which is the chivalry-like 40K game, and that's how it was sold to me. And I was like, okay, I really like 40K. And they're like, yeah, we got two factions right now: Space Marines and Chaos Marines. All right, we're doing that. So having a lot of fun with that. It's not a fantastically complex game because obviously they've only gotten certain things working, but it is kind of nice to just fucking like take a chainsaw to a guy's face, be like, loyalist scum. Run
There you
dudes over
go.
with tanks. You know,
Very nice.
why are you fucking up our game? Fuck your game. For chaos. I'm on your side. It matters not to the dark gods.
Alrighty then. Scribewo. If I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that. Question to all: what is your favorite song from the animated Transformers movie? Which I'm assuming they mean Transformers the movie.
Oh.
Which it's hard for me not to go with the touch, but I'm probably gonna go with Dare to Be Stupid.
I was gonna say guess. That's what you're gonna go with. Good call on my part.
Oh man. Well, since that one's already taken,
You can still go with it. I mean, it's
well,
your
like
favorite.
I think we gotta give like a song's time to shine.
Fair
Of
enough.
course, you got Touch, but another one I always kind of liked was Hunger, which was the song that plays when the Sharkticons are attacking.
Oh, there you go.
You know, because it just I don't know. I always like that sequence. It's a good song.
There you go. There you
Well,
go.
I'm just-
Instruments of Destruction is also really good.
See, I got two problems. Number one, I'd probably go with the touch just because I don't know that many songs from the movie because I don't remember anything of that movie.
Oh man,
At all.
I've seen that movie so many times.
I might have seen it when I was a kid. I just don't remember any of it. It's just like, just not even in my head at all. Probably replaced it all with video games, you know?
Yeah, probably.
And there weren't good Transformers games. They were terrible. No.
Actually, those War for Cybertron games were good.
Yeah, but that's a bit further on.
Yeah. It's like Xbox 360 era.
Yeah.
Apparently, Transformers Devastation is really good. Like that one I want to check out because that's like playing through like classic G1 cartoon.
Nice.
Get to fight Devastator, Metasaur. I'm like kind of up for that.
King of the Ozone asks, do you guys know G.G. Allen? And if so, any thoughts on his music and stage presence, such as shitting on stage and eating it? G.G. Allen is kind of the king of shock punk rock.
Yeah.
I kind of admire him, but I also just kind of find it like half the time I'm wondering, okay, this is shocking. I'll give you that. And it is kind of horrifying. But there's also the second part of me where I'm just constantly going, why?
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
Like, I get Gwar. I get everything Gwar does. I get everything Slipknot does. I get everything Alice Cooper does. But with G.G. Allen, I'm always just like, I feel like you are just a crazy man who wanted to eat your shit today.
Yeah, yeah. That's probably a good way to put it. Like, G.G. Allen was the king of shock rock, but god damn it, like you'd watch it and just be like, what? Why? You know, because it would horrify you in that way. It's like fucking Alice Cooper was asked, like, what would shock people now? He's like, I don't know, maybe if you cut your own arm off and ate it, you could do it twice.
I love that. I love that interview.
Yeah.
As far as his music goes, I've never been a big G.G. Allen fan, so
I don't know if you find anyone who's a fan of G.G. Allen's music.
Yeah, it's more of like find someone who is I wouldn't say a fan of, but like someone who respects his antics.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
more of what I mean, like, you know, I was just looking at, just reminding myself of some of the albums, and just the names of some of these are pretty simple as is. Hated in the Nation, Don't Talk to Me, You Hate Me, I Hate You, Bite It, You Scum, Carnival Excess, and other ones I'm not gonna read on stream and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, you know, but like all in that shock punk rock, and punk for me is, I don't know, punk for me is a hard thing to do really well, because a lot of it is just so, I wouldn't say crude, but just very direct.
It's raw.
Right, it's very raw.
yeah.
So
Punk is more about energy than actual musicianship.
Yeah, that's what it came from, and
Yeah.
Luke from Rock Reviews comes in with question number 5, which, if you keep track of home, he's still numbering. How much peanut butter can I eat in one sitting before I should be concerned about my health?
so many.
If you got through a whole bottle of it by yourself in one sitting, you should probably rethink your life. And
Now, if you got through an entire container from Costco,
holy shit.
Now you're really in trouble.
now you
You
might
probably need medical assistance.
I'm pretty sure your arteries are clogged at that point, and you can't speak anymore.
Your intestines are clogged with peanut butter.
Yeah.
So that would be my answer. You'd be suffocating.
Yeah, I think your pH balance changes. You eat that much peanut butter.
Peanut balance.
Oof.
The Cartoon Physicist Naughty List doesn't have a question, but does have a suggestion for Jack and I, so I'm going to read it. There's a parody film that actually predated Mel Brooks' films called Carry On, and apparently it is a parody of Hammer horror films. So there we go.
Well, what's his nuts? Roman Polanski did a parody of Hammer horror films called Fearless Vampire Killers.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, which has a very, which if you like redheads with big boobs, there's
Oh, well, do I?
yeah. There's very famous busty redhead vampire character in that movie. It also has some really great sound clips that are inherently ridiculous, and Skinny Puppy samples that movie constantly. 'Cause it has such great lines as, like, you know, here we were gathered around a single meager woodcutter. You know, but with Satan's aid, we might look forward to a more succulent occasion. You know, look at me now, an old man with his flabby stomach and spindly legs. You know, it's a really good movie. It's really good. And there's not a single underage girl raped in that movie either.
Wow, that's a
Well, it's Roman Polanski, so, you know, you got to make that clear.
Rachel Reviews asks, Jack, do you have a favorite movie that is not an action movie? And I'm pretty sure he said Joe versus the Volcano earlier, which is not an
Yes,
action movie.
Not an action movie.
Not an action movie at all. All right. William Price, should they attempt to refine/remake Plan 9 or leave it as a classic? They did remake Plan 9.
Yep.
It is just called Plan 9. It stars Mr. Lobo, which is a friend of Jack and I's.
Yep.
And I believe it's available now somewhere.
I think so. I don't know exactly how they're
Let me see.
distributing it.
Let me see if it's
But
actually.
they filmed that movie like 6 years ago.
Yeah. Let me
Well, it's good
see
that
if
they
it is
delayed
actually
releasing it,
available. If
because
I'm
we want the
talking out of
footage
my
to look
ass.
older than it really needs to be. You know, it's good strategy. It's like, okay, I want to make this thing look like it's crap. Okay, instead of using old equipment, we'll just film it now and then edit it a decade later.
Yeah, I have no
All right.
idea if they even finished the film.
All right, here you go. Plan 9 is available to rent on Amazon or buy, so go check it out.
Okay,
It is a remake of Plan 9 from Outer Space, starring Mr. Lobo,
is
a
it free?
horror host.
Is it free on Prime?
I don't know if it's free on Prime. I don't have Prime, you fucking sack of shit.
Okay, well I'll
I
check
don't
that
know why
later.
I did that.
I'll check that later because I do want to see
Well
that movie.
played.
Because it does also have the angry video game nerd in it.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, James Rolfe plays Coulson, the cop, in that version.
There you go.
It's great.
All right, let's see what we got here. Scribe Woe, thoughts on the werewolf movie Where? We have not seen it yet, or at least I haven't. I don't know if Jack has.
No, I have not either.
We want to, but we haven't yet. So.
I really want to see Howl, actually.
Okay,
The one, Werewolves on a Train.
okay, we'll watch Hal and Where. There you go. King of the Ozone, what is the worst sequel to a really good movie? I.e. Elm Street 2. Fuck you.
Hey,
I love Elm Street 2.
Elm Street 2 is great.
Fuck you, King of the Ozone. You didn't do a good job fucking taking care of the ozone, and now you're fucking it up by shitting on Elm Street 2, which is awesome. I love Elm Street.
I mean, like, okay,
I will give you the worst sequel
okay,
ever.
okay.
Halloween 5.
Okay, that's really good. That's a really good choice.
Halloween 5.
I was gonna say, one of the Silent Night Deadly Nights, but then again, Silent Night Deadly Night was not a really good horror film to begin with.
Well, like, Silent Night Deadly Night 2 barely qualifies as a movie.
Right. I mean, that's
You know?
that's the joke. It's like, it's not really a sequel. It's a clip show.
Yeah. It's half a clip show with like half hour of new footage.
With
Garbage Day.
with one good scene.
Yeah.
To bring the Halloween series back, if I'm gonna have to pick worst of that, it can't be 5. It's gotta be Resurrection.
Oh
is-
man, the one where Busta Rhymes fucking
Yes.
kung fu god.
Which is ironically the one entertaining point in that entire movie.
The one-
Yeah,
the one-
but
the one
not.
with
It's
the-
not what you want to see.
the reality TV show angle, which was
It
just
is.
bullshit.
Yeah.
And like, it's just like such a fucking stupid premise, and the way that it's handled is like, this makes no sense as a reality TV show.
Well, like that was also the one where in the beginning they killed off Jamie Lee Curtis, and
Right.
you're like,
Really? First, what is that accomplishing?
yeah, exactly. Well, it's accomplishing getting her out of that contract.
I mean, okay, that is at least something good, though. That's the only
Yeah.
good thing about that movie is it got her out of that contract.
Yeah, because she was all up for doing. It was one of those things where she was all up for H2O. She was up for the next one, but when that fucking resurrection comes by, she's like, "What the fuck is this? This is awful. There's nothing good here. Why are we even making this movie? I want out." All right, you just die in the first scene. Whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, it was something to the fact that like she would only do the movie if they killed her immediately because she did not want to do it. So it was like one of those kind of deals.
And she was a really good sport for doing those other movies when she really didn't
Most
need to.
definitely.
Yeah,
'Cause, I mean, she was already more established as an actress elsewhere, so
Yep.
it was more she was doing the filmmakers a favor by doing H2O and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I think she was willing at that point to like kind of be
Yeah, I mean, it's
this
back
is
to
where
my
it all
roots.
started.
Back to my roots.
Yeah.
Alrighty then, Kaluna came in briefly to wish me a happy birthday. Thank you, babe. Appreciate it. Nicholas Kurtz, question for Jack. This is a proper fuck, marry, kill question between Linnea Quigley, Julie from Return of the Living Dead 3, or Shauna Sassi, the porcupine woman from Nightbreed. And I believe he specifically means Linnea Quigley in Return of the Living Dead based on the parentheses. So
All right. So do we mean? Now, here's the important question.
Trash, Julie, Shauna Sassi.
Okay. Which trash?
The one from Return of the Living Dead 1.
No. Before or after? Zombie or non-zombie?
They don't specify, so
Well, this is very important.
they don't specify. You're gonna have to figure that out for yourself.
All right.
But the question
So
is
it's fuck, marry, kill, right?
kill. It don't fucking front. You're gonna marry Shauna Sassi, and you know it.
Oh well, that's not where I'm hung up. Like marry Shauna Sassi. Fuck Julie. Probably have to kill Trash, just by default.
There you go. There you go. That's your answer, Nicholas Kurtz. You're welcome. Rick Classic, Jack and Guru. Have either of you seen Kids in the Hall? And what do you think of the Simon and Hecubus skits?
They're fine.
Yeah,
Kids in the Hall,
pretty much.
Like, that's a weird question.
Yeah. It's
Have
like
you
that's
seen
kind of
Kids in the Hall?
out of the wheelhouse.
It's like,
you know?
well,
It's just
wait
like-
a minute. You're asking people like our age, have we seen Kids in the Hall? Of course we have. It's like,
Hey,
our money. It's our Monty Python, basically. Because that's what they're trying to do.
Well, I think the funny thing is that they bring up like manservant Hecubus, and the funny thing is whenever I think of like great parodies of like horror hosts that actually inspired me, I actually think of John Candy and Eugene Levy from SCTV, where they were always like, "We'll do it in 3D." You know, like, they just literally throw shit at the camera.
And they're not out afraid.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that feels a little bit more like what we do here.
Nick,
Dave.
Nicholas Kurtz decided to throw his suggestion into what movie should be remade from an earlier question, which shows you how far back we are on the questions right now.
Got it.
He suggests Werewolf on Wheels would make an awesome movie. if it
Oh
were
man,
remade.
Werewolves on Wheels, that would make an awesome
Yeah.
remake. Yes.
I gotta concur. Ibrahim Hassan, question to everyone: have you guys seen the Mamoru Clover Z vs Kiss music video? And if you guys have, what do you think of the collaboration? I have not.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do homework on that one.
Yeah, we'll get back to you later. Ask us next week. A lot of happy birthdays. Thank all of you for the happy birthdays. I appreciate it.
To Guru. Happy birthday to
Happy
Guru.
birthday to me.
Happy
Okay,
birthday.
Michael Lech, if I mispronounced that, I apologize, Michael. A question for the group. Who would you say is your favorite director of all time? I would say mine is Cronenberg. I love Carpenter and Cronenberg. They're good examples. I feel like every time someone asks me that question, I don't know if my answer is consistent because it just depends on my mood at that day.
Yeah. Like somewhere, I feel like somewhere between John Carpenter and Alejandro Jodorowsky, the truth lies for me.
There you go.
I mean, for me, like, honestly...
Mike, I love Mike a lot.
Oh, Mike, that's another one of
Mike's
my
a great
favorites.
one. I mean, Mike's a
Yeah.
good one. And kind of not really quite in the same realm, but kind of parallel that's David Fincher. I mean, I love David Fincher.
David Fincher's great.
Oh,
I mean,
David Fincher's
And basically, I
master.
generally like directors who had a background in doing commercial and music video work because I feel that background gets to be so good at using the visual media.
Yeah. When those guys, well, as long as the guy is good.
Well, I mean, Chris
You know.
Cunningham, for example, is one who never did a movie, but he was just so good with his music videos. Michel Gondry was great.
Michel Gondry was really good. Yeah. Oh God, who's the guy who did that Nightmare on Elm Street fucking remake?
I forget his name, but you're talking about the dude who did the Smells Like Teen Spirit music video.
Yeah.
Oh shit, who was that? Spike Jones?
No.
Did that
No,
one?
Spike Jones is an amazing director.
Yes.
You know.
Let's see here.
Gotta look this up.
This is exciting radio right here. This is
Exactly.
Exciting
Me,
streaming.
find the director for this while I'm it's out here. Damn phone, sir, keep loading faster.
Ibrahim Hassan asks, question to Guru and Jack, will you guys ever
Sam
review the Ginger Snap series of movies? Maybe.
Yeah, we might.
I do like Ginger Snaps.
Yeah, good movies.
Ginger Snaps Back's pretty good too. It's not as good as the first, but
Ginger snaps.
Snaps back and forth. You can pretty much ignore.
yeah.
It's basically a retread of the.
It's
first
Ginger
movie.
Snaps Back for the record.
Wait. What's the title of the second one?
Ginger Snaps 2?
Oh, okay. So it's Ginger Snaps 2, and Ginger Snaps Back.
I think Ginger Snaps 2 has a subtitle, Unleashed.
Oh.
Did I say Ginger Snaps Back?
You did.
Okay.
You did. So I assume you.
I'm going to
meant-
listen to this stream again. If I do and you're lying, I'm going to punch you.
All right. You got it.
To clarify an earlier point, the director in question was Sam Bayer. That's who it was.
There you go. I probably did say Ginger Snaps back.
Yeah.
I meant
So
Ginger
basically, Ginger Snaps 1 and 2, great. Third one, not so much.
Alrighty then. Let's see. Next question. Where the fuck are? Okay. Scribewo, question for everyone: what classic Universal monster needs a revival movie? We actually answered this earlier,
Creature Black Lagoon.
and we went with Creature from the Black Lagoon.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Jimmy Lamb, what does everyone think about the Ghostbusters trailer? We answered that last week, but I thought it was pretty fun, so we'll see.
Having Medea in it, I think, was a good choice.
There you go.
I mean, for me, I'm still skeptical of what type of humor they're going to be going with for the movie. I'll say that whoever did the trailer music, I think, did a really nice job with the way they did the Ghostbusters theme and treating that for a trailer version of the song. The tech design is really what really stood out for me, because I think they did a really good job with the way things looked as set pieces and prop design. Like, those things were legitimately good. I'm skeptical about the humor in the movie, and I think this is more of me being skeptical about modern American comedy films. And even though I know the same director did Spy, I know it's him, so there's promise in that, but that still doesn't change the fact I'm like skeptical of the humor in it.
Yeah. It's like you're not gonna really know until like you see it.
Right.
Yeah, like that's kind of where I am. You know, like I have a little more faith, but like I don't know, like it could all just fall apart. I don't know. Don't know. Haven't seen the movie. Can't judge.
Sean Murphy, Jackula and Guru. Either of you guys seen Shin Getter Robo, Giant Robots versus the Thing Invasion anime? Thought it would be your guys' jam. I have. It's awesome. So there you go.
Good show.
Let's see what else we got here. Excuse me 1 second. I seem to have a coughing problem at the moment.
At least you're not coughing up blood.
Alrighty then.
Hi, Kitty.
So what do we got here? Man, the chat's all talking up. Evora Virus wants to know what our opinions are on SLC Punk. I like that movie. It's a pretty good movie.
Film. You know, pretty accurate.
Trev Apocalypse, have you guys seen 10 Cloverfield Lane yet?
No.
Not yet.
No.
Want to? Not yet. Question to everyone: do you guys watch tokusatsu like Ultraman or the Garo series or movies?
Not so
No,
much anymore.
not really.
No, I mean, I remember playing the Ultraman game when it came out and being confused as shit about that. Because, like, the show wasn't even around. It was like, what the fuck is this?
What's going on?
What's going on? Why is it getting big? I'm scared, Mommy.
Yeah, I was always more of a fan of just the strict like kaiju movies. You know.
Yeah, the kaiju films are my jam. Alrighty then, Jimmy Lamb. So, how much is everyone going to hate that it's daylight savings tonight? Pretty.
Yeah, I hate it. I'm gonna hate it pretty
yeah.
hard.
I gotta actually show up on time for a orientation at 8 in the morning. I flew over here from Florida, where I had
It's a 5-hour flight.
5-hour flight, and I had to be up at 6 o'clock for that. And I fell asleep at about 3 to 4 in the morning in Eastern, so I am going to be delirious tomorrow. Which means I probably need to get back to that hotel room pretty soon.
Yeah.
Well, we could probably start wrapping up. We're closing in on 2 hours.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll just hit the 2-hour mark.
Do you want to do like a 5-minute last question rush?
Yeah, let's do a rapid fire round.
Rapid fire.
All right, everyone.
Rapid fire round. Let's do 5.
Obviously, you're going to get this in a couple minutes, but start rapid firing your questions, and we will do the next 5 questions. We'll answer questions for the next 5 minutes. So I'm skipping everything that's already been asked. Just start asking them now, and we will get to them when you catch up to our stream. Alrighty then, let's see what we got here. Question for everyone by Burrory1. Have you seen that one movie with the dinosaur crocodile where the kid gets eaten up to the head? I dinosaur crocodile. Do you mean like Lake Placid, or like is it literally like a T-Rex with like a crocodile combination, or is it like a prehistoric crocodile? Is my question there. Because I've seen a lot of killer crocodile movies. Like Rogue is a good one. Crocodile is not a good one. Alligator is really awesome. It's not a
Alligator's
crocodile.
badass. Although that's
Um,
technically an alligator, not a crocodile.
Lake Placid is kind of awesome. So there we go. Let's see. Oh shit, the questions are coming in.
All right, let's
Coming
do
in.
this.
Let's do this. All right, question to everyone by Ibrahim Hassan. What do you guys think of Kevin Smith? I fucking
Love Kevin Smith.
Love Kevin
Love
Smith.
his movies.
So-
Even his shitty movies are horrendously underrated. They've all got one thing that's really good about him, even Jersey Girl. And if you just hate Kevin Smith, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, screw you. I don't even know you.
What about you, Skitch?
I'm trying to do it in a Silent J sort of thing. So thanks for saying Silent Bob, Silent J. That'd be horrible.
Silent
J.
J would be the worst version of that.
Silent Bob's like, you ruined the mystique. Next question.
Bizarro J. Yeah.
Bizarro J.
Any news on the All Critics Must Die movie? No news.
No news. No.
Jimmy Lamb, favorite Stephen Chow movie? I'm gonna go with Kung Fu Hustle.
I am going to repeat that.
Yeah,
There you
Kung Fu
go.
Hustle.
What would you want to die horror movie style?
How would you want to die?
How or what?
The Steven Universe fandom.
Oh, shots fired.
Sorry to
Shots
any Steven
censored.
Universe fans out there. I can't stand that show, and I can't stand its fans. Sorry. I apologize.
That's gonna be the default
Oh,
answer now.
man.
That's the default answer if you don't like the question. It's just the Steven Universe fandom.
Favorite horror movie host asks GL Knight. Damn, that's a tough one. It's hard for me because I didn't have many when I was growing up in my area.
It is.
Yeah.
I gotta go with the Crypt Keeper, just because.
It's a good one. Yeah. Well, I feel like Elvira. Duh.
There you go.
Very much a tie between those two for me. So it's just like I can't choose because we're both good at different ways.
Yeah.
Barori, he's clarifying the movie he meant was Dino Croc. I have not seen Dino Croc,
I haven't seen Dino Croc.
Nope.
so
However, if you have seen, however, Croczilla is actually a really good movie.
oh yeah, Croczilla is surprisingly good. We didn't even know it was like a Chinese movie until we started watching it.
Nope.
Wow.
No, but it's actually like that movie is way better than it has any right to be.
Absolutely, and actually, kind of titling it Croczilla is kind of misleading, honestly.
Well, it was originally titled $1 Million Crocodile, which is a more
Which-
appropriate title.
That is more apt than the kind of movie it is. Nicholas Kurtz, question to everyone: what are your 3 superpowers, and what will your names be? Oh, what are each of our superpowers, and what will our superhero names be, or antihero, or villain?
Oh,
Superpower. I've always kind of wanted to fly, so I'll go with that.
I'm gonna go with my answer from earlier, from the earlier conversation, which is booty seeking vision.
Mine is going to be evading answers. My superhero name would be next question, please.
That's amazing. I apologize for all your ears there.
This guy's reaction is great.
Commander Cobb, opinions on Death House, the Kane Hodder and Robert Englund Expendables horror movie. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Bring it on. Question for the group by R. Ryle M. What was a disappointing movie that you really, really looked forward to?
Crawl or Die.
Crawl or Die was a really
That was a piece of shit, and I was so looking forward to it. Harbinger Down was another one.
I was gonna say that. That was recently. Those two probably are the ones that take the cake for that.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'd point back to Silent Hill because I saw it in theaters.
Oh,
and I
there you
was
go.
So let down by that because it opened up so nicely. But moving on.
Yeah.
Tony L. Question for everyone: should someone make a Stephen King miniseries remake? And I'm guessing he means a remake of a miniseries as a miniseries. I guess. I don't know.
Remake one of his miniseries that was made.
I guess.
I guess.
They're already kind of doing that with It in the Stands. So.
Yeah. So, you're saying should they, I don't know. People seem to like Stephen King, so I don't see why not. The
I
one
would
movie where I'm like, no, don't touch it. It's perfect. Is Pet Cemetery.
Well, that wasn't even a mini series. That was a movie. So
Right.
Yeah.
But I would totally see someone try to remake Langoliers and make it good.
That if you can do that, you are a filmmaking genius because
Hell
that
yeah.
story is awful.
Outer Dimension reviews. Question for everyone: what do you think of the Zombies of Sugar Hill? Or have you seen the Zombies of Sugar Hill? And what do you think? Sugar
The
Hill.
Zombies of Sugar Hill, or you mean Sugar Hill, right?
Let me double check that in case there's a sequel that I
call
don't
it the
know.
Zombies of Sugar Hill.
That sounds like Housewives of Zombie Hill.
Yeah,
It might be called the Zombies of Sugar Hill in another country, but
could be.
for us, it is just Sugar Hill, and I fucking love Sugar Hill.
Yeah, Sugar Hill's great.
That one is a fucking movie. Let's see, what else do we got
Probably
here?
best portrayal of Baron Samedi that has ever been committed to film.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Alrighty then. We're going to do a couple more questions and then close this out. Kevin Bennett, question for everyone. Horror franchise that has fallen the worst. I think Hellraiser kind of takes the cake for me in terms of franchise that just descended into just nothingness. Because after a while, they're not even Hellraiser movies anymore, and that's probably the lowest you can get.
Yeah, it goes like Hellraiser, Hellbound, Hell on Earth, Bloodlines, and you think like that's gonna be, well, this is as bad as it gets, right? No, you have no idea how awful those fucking direct-to-video Hellraiser movies are.
Yeah, especially, I mean, anything that gets to a direct-to-video tier is already at a certain level of awful. I mean,
yeah, and it just keeps getting Deader. I think was the the last one was the Revelations was the one without without the original
Doug Bradley.
Doug Bradley. That was the one without Doug Bradley,
to
right?
make
Yes.
it really
Yeah.
somewhat mean,
That'd be the
joke,
worst.
it'd be like Hellraiser is like the Steven Seagal of horror movies in terms of just how far it's fallen from grace.
Yes.
Because he had
Yes.
such a promising start, and then it goes into irrelevant, cheap-ass direct-to-video fares.
Yeah.
Where they literally just took scripts that they had lying around and added Pinhead to them and called it Hellraiser, but they weren't.
Yeah. Although one of the things that's really funny about a lot of those really shitty Hellraiser sequels is that there's always a Clive Barker character stand-in.
Oh yeah. Like they did that with Hellworld.
Yeah, they did that with Hellworld. They did that with Deader.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, I can tell that this is based off of Clive Barker.
Where they even have like the same earrings. Like there was that one guy. Yeah. It was really weird. Alrighty then. Kevin Bennett. Oh no, that was the question we just answered. My apologies, Kevin. Paul Lewis, what 2 weapons would you keep on you in the zombie apocalypse?
Lightsaber.
Probably a baseball bat because that's not going to run out of bullets. So I'll probably keep one of those. Besides that, club. I don't know. That's already a baseball bat. I got nothing. I got nothing.
Time machine and another question, I guess, would be mine.
There you go. Let's see. Who's sexier? Says Whispering Mirror. Santanico Pandemonium or the Countess from Female Vampire? Ooh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Female Vampire, but From Dusk Till Dawn has one of the sexiest vampires I've ever fucking seen. I gotta go with Santanico Pandemonium from the movie.
Yeah. But
Not necessarily the show.
But say Selma Hayek.
Yes,
Selma
pretty
Hayek
well wins.
See, I was almost gonna joke about the gay bear Santa from the documentary. It's like,
which one's sexier? I don't. Here's the funny thing. I'm not sure which one is sexier, but I could tell you that Lena Romay is the actress I would be most interested in having sex with. I mean, granted, she's now gone.
There you go.
But back in those days when she made Female Vampire, watching that girl beat off is amazing. You know, that woman has a very specific art form, and it's exhibitionism. You know,
Things you will only hear said on the Jackula show.
hey man,
All
woman
right,
had
then,
talent. She needs to be recognized for it.
I'm skipping a bunch of questions, and I'm going to go with this last one from Nicholas Kurtz to close us out in terms of questions. Nicholas Kurtz asks, and I'm not sure what the answer to this question is for me. I have to think about it. What is the worst David Cronenberg movie?
A worst?
Yes.
Ooh.
Now, there's a couple movies he's made recently that I have not seen. I have not seen A Dangerous Method. I have not seen Map to the Stars, so I can't speak for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say my knowledge of David Cronenberg cuts off at History of Violence.
Yeah.
So,
Which you should see Eastern Provinces. That one was awesome. God damn it. Oddly enough, I might have to go with Crash.
I think I'm gonna go with Rabbit actually.
Oh, really? I fucking love Rabbit.
Yeah. Well, I like it, but oh jeez. You got me. This question has me in a conundrum.
Yeah. I didn't quite. I'm not even sure with my answer, to be honest.
Yeah, because I can't think of like, I'm trying to think of a legitimately bad one. Well, you know what? Fuck. Let's spend a few minutes. Let's go through the man's filmography.
Well, we got Stereo, Crimes of the Future, Shivers, Rabid, Fast Company, The Brood, Scanners, Videodrome, The Dead Zone, The Fly, Dead Rangers, Naked Lunch, M. Butterfly, Crash, Existence, Spider, History of Violence, Eastern Promises, A Dangerous Method, Cosmopolis, and then Maps to the Stars is his most recent one. I mean, like, I look at the ones I've seen and I know of, and like,
I haven't seen M. Butterfly. So
I
don't
like
know how that
even
is.
between the three I've seen, Scanners, The Fly, and Naked Lunch. I'm like, it's hard to say which one's the worst of those three.
Yeah.
Because they're all good at what they're doing, and there's faults in all of them. In different
Oh,
ways.
I haven't seen Stereo or Crimes of the Future actually. I never even heard of those.
Stereo was his very first one.
Yeah, it was.
No.
It is often considered his worst.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is,
Yeah, M. Butterfly is his actual adaptation of the Madame Butterfly.
Madame Butterfly?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna have to go with Crash because I'm having trouble thinking.
Yeah.
And like,
But whatever go with whatever you feel is.
yeah.
Well, the only thing I could really come up with is, of the ones I've seen, I would say Rabid was the least good.
I would say between the three I've seen, Scanners.
Oh wait, maybe Dead Ringers.
See, Scanners has great moments, but as an overall plot and movie, and the final encounter is kind of stupid as hell, but but it's entertaining. But like between the three of them, I would say it's the weakest because Naked Lunch has its own special flair that makes it kind of work as an adaptation, and then The Fly of those three is just it's Fly.
I have to. All right. Well, I got like 3 Cronenberg movies I gotta see here.
Oh yeah. There's still a couple I gotta see too.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know. I've never watched a Cronenberg movie that I thought was bad.
Right.
Is the problem.
Yeah.
There's flaws, but that's not really enough to say.
Yeah, that's
they're
not
bad.
really. Yeah, it's
Right.
not really a big deal.
And it's
Yeah,
more of
pretty
a product
much.
of the types of films that he's doing and the way he approaches his filmmaking.
Yeah, like Existence can get very confusing until you gonna get to the end and understand what's
Naked
happening.
Lunch can get confused.
Naked Lunch gets very confusing unless you know something about William S. Burroughs.
Yes.
You know, if you actually understand the history of William S. Burroughs, you're like, all makes sense, very clear.
So, I gonna stick with Rabid.
I think we're gonna have to.
All right, fair enough. He is sticking with Rabid. All right, and with that, we conclude our questions. Before I hand it off to Jack to take us out, I am going to request that everyone go find Mr. Yomars, which I'm posting in the chat on Twitter, and tell him to review Stalker Simulator. That will be the best birthday present for me ever if you all do this for me. So, Jack, take us out.
All right, Fright Nights and Monster Girls, it's been a pleasure having you with us, and we will probably do this again. Next week, and we will report back from the Disturbed show, which we were going to the previous evening. We might come back with minor injuries. We're not sure because you can't ever really tell. It's a Disturbed show at the Fillmore.
Ooh.
So, could get pretty intense.
Yeah, it could. I've been to some intense shows with them.
Yeah.
So let's see.
All right. All right. So, until then, take care of yourself, whatever you are.